Pakistan and China vow to protect each other's core interests. Now, to get a much more in-depth look at why these two countries are meeting on what they plan to do, we're joined by my very special guest, Mr. Javed Rana. He's a journalist and analyst based in Islamabad. Javed, thanks for joining me here Monday. It's always a pleasure to see you. Why? What's so special about this new? Is it a new relationship? Is it strengthening an old relationship? What's going on?
Well, I think Pakistan basically has been sandwiched between the US and China in ongoing their Cold War. And the US is trying to pull Pakistan and in a manner that it doesn't pursue the much bigger project, the road and build infrastructure project, the part of which passes through Pakistan. I think in that context, this statement is important, where both countries have given assurance to each other that the critical part, the core interest of they are going to be watched and served. I think now, since the Americans have been trying behind the scene, trying to prevail upon Pakistan that it should not support Chinese built and road in infrastructure, which actually begins from China and to moves from the major parts of Pakistan and link it to the Gwadar port of Pakistan in the southwest of the country, and from there it leads to the Europe, Africa, and other Asian countries. And in order to counter this particular project, the USA and other G7 countries, they have come up with their own project. They call it as a Build Back a Better World. Basically, they're trying to contain China through that kind of project. Pakistan right now doesn't want to be seen that it is siding with any particular country. It wants to watch its own economic interest. Pakistan wants to join the American-led project. At the same time, it wants to remain part and parcel of the Chinese Belt and Road infrastructure project. So in that context, I think this is an assurance. But I can tell you that at this point of time, there is an element of some sort of division. Pakistan doesn't want to be seen much with the China because it doesn't want to join Chinese bloc in a manner that it is perceived that it has gone with the China. But given the situation that exists on the ground, I think it is going to be very difficult for Pakistan not to choose these blocs if the ongoing Cold War between the US and the China intensifies. Europe has been backing the USA, while it seems that given the fact that India has joined the USA, given the fact that Israel has joined the US, and behind the scene they have a very strong relationship, and given the fact that Pakistan has a dispute with the India over Kashmir issue, and China has a territorial disputes with the India, Pakistan's political and geostrategic interests, they are more with China than as compared to the USA, which wants to keep Pakistan dependent. When it comes to China, China has built an infrastructure in Pakistan. It has come up with, at least so far, it has spent $26 billion US. And Americans have been telling Pakistan, look, this is a debt trap. Partly Americans are telling the facts, but at the same time, the Americans don't have that kind of a big alternative for Pakistan. Out of no option, I think Pakistan will have to stay with the China because its political interest matches with the China, because the China is coming up with a bigger investment. The growing tide of anti-Israel sentiments. What you see behind me is just tip of the iceberg of what is happening in the country. More than half of $52 billion black CIA budget is spent on espionage network in Pakistan. How would you handle it?
The US has looked upon Pakistan as an ally at one point and then as an enemy at the same time.
That is going to be the first legal reason on the basis of which he is going to be instantly ousted by the Supreme Court of Pakistan.
Joining us live, Javed Rana, who's an expert on politics and geostrategic issues.
In the world politics, which is not being driven by any moral principle, it is being driven by the hard geostrategic realities. In a broader picture, more countries would aspire to have nuclear weapons.